Either as part of the closing process or at really any point through the life cycle of a case, you can add outcomes to your case. And outcomes are typically simply those services that you have provided to your client, the benefits that your client has gotten through your representation in this case. Again, you can collect them just when you're closing the case. You can also put these blocks onto a auxiliary form and an auxiliary process and have that available at any time through the life cycle of your case. I personally find it easiest to think of outcomes as a series of interlocking lookup lists that are then filtered through the blocks that are on whatever form you're recording your outcomes in. In this case, it's a closed form, and that's the language I'm going to use. So as a couple of examples, you can filter out outcomes based on the legal problem code that outcome is assigned, that then matches the legal problem code of the case that you're on. You can also group outcomes by a grouping that you determine and you organize, by financial benefit type, and by additional reporting criteria. We're going to see how each of these works in just a second, but just to show you the impact, we can see here with our primary outcome, we have a whole list of outcomes recorded here. If I pick child support lump sum recovery and then asked for that lump sum recovery amount. If I change that to monthly payment, I have a monthly recovery. I can also hide that outcome. I can show that outcome. If I were to show my secondary outcomes, we'll see here I have a shorter list. In this case, this is simply pulling only those outcomes that are assigned to a specific outcome group. And it's just set up to pull only those in the block that's right here on this form. Similarly, for taxpayer savings, it's only going to show the outcomes that are assigned to the group taxpayer savings. We'll see how each of these works in just a second, but I just wanted to show you what it would look like on the users, from the user standpoint. Again, there's only one list of lookup of outcome values. They're each assigned to different filtering criteria that we'll see in just a second, and then this block actually filters them out. You can put more than 3 outcomes on a closing form. You could either have multiple of what we call the single outcome block, or we also have a multiple outcome block. It can really be configured just depending on how many outcomes your agency collects and needs on any one case. Outcomes can also be placed onto branch logic. So if there are certain outcomes that are only necessary where a case is assigned to a particular funding code, you can organize it and configure it so that those outcome blocks only show up when your case is, when a case is that specific funding code.